Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at it? We're still figuring shit out, you know? I got a copyright claim. Heartburn. By Lee J and Tenseo. Dude, I used to coach this guy in basketball. He's doing so well now. So happy for him. Good guy. So, say this claim doesn't restrict your video at this moment. Get me out of the studio, guys. Come on. Let's see if this is this like a, is that what the song is called? Oh, no, that's a different version. Oh shit. This is a good way to start your day. So this was a Michael Jackson tribute video to his death, after his death. And there's just something about like early internet videos have this like crazy sort of surreal horror. Somebody made this. I wish I made it.
Get out of here. No, I'm John. Why can't you?
This is terrifying. Is that Edward Scissorhands? It's 3 minutes long. I can't watch the whole thing, but I just want to see what are the other boys saying. I remember this story. My cousin told me that when her and my other cousin were watching SpongeBob, my uncle came up to them and said to watch this funny video of Dora, and they did, and my cousin described it as a screamer video of Dora screaming into the screen with her face slow. Did you make this? Sometimes. People in the 2000s had that kind of mental disturbance you don't really see anymore. That's true. That's true. That's because kids just are becoming like a hive mind. Just like that one horror movie with the demon aliens that I was reading about last night. Children's End. The end of childhood. Childhood's end. He's actually a good guy, believe it or not. He's the good guy. Starring Ashley Zuckerman, Yale Stone, Charlotte Nickdow. Alright. I didn't see this. I just wanted to see.
What is that fucking... Listen to that fucking guy. He's fucking disgusting. Shut up, fatty. Shut up. What are you talking about, fatty? Call me I'm disgusting. I guarantee you, if me and Stavros and Hassan had to walk 3 miles, at the end of those 3 miles, I would smell the best out of all 3 of them. I would. See, this is what happens whenever you're fat. Is that you think this is the way it is. How did this happen?
I don't know about that.
Kid, right? He probably gets no fucking pussy. Aspen Gold, whatever the fuck his name is.
Don't hate on Asmongold. Assman mold is what some people call him. This guy's, like, Stavros is actually disgusting, dude. Though, like, I don't know how old he is, but, like, he's fat, he's hairy, he's really fat, he's hairy in all the wrong places, he's hairy everywhere but on top of his head.
No, man, there's clout. He's got clout. It's really crazy to me, by the way. I think that these guys are really kind of self-reporting.
So much of men that are leftists are just using it as a mating technique. They don't actually believe any of this shit. They don't even...
He's right. He's 100% right. It is a mating technique. That's so crazy. I never really even thought of it that way. It's 11/11, guys. Make a wish. Ooh. Hey, welcome to Itsmyshow Productions, guys. I'm selling online online Clash of Clans accounts, and they're fully kitted and zooted and booted. So if you pay me $19.99, you just have to go to my eBay account. I'm selling Clash of Clan classes.
think any of this. They know it's bullshit. They just say it because it's a good way to get women to like them. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really, like, I don't have a girlfriend right now. No, I don't. Like, yeah, maybe in the future I will, maybe not. I don't, this is not my whole life. There's Sims? Yeah. Why is
My mom bought me a lawnmower. That's
Why
tight.
am I weighing in?
Some fucking idiot. What are you saying? Because you
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
How do you get famous? Fucking oh my god. Yeah. A fucking World of Warcraft guy? Yeah. People listen to that fucking guy can't take a fucking shower?
Yeah. I don't need to because I'm not fat and I smell bad. Fat people smell bad.
That's so funny. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I also haven't showered in a while. Because I'm like 4% body fat. I want to be 0% body fat. By the end of 2026, I'm going to be 0% body fat. Ugh.
You'll get sucked off.
It's all about having sex with women. Their entire worldview and everything is built around the sexual approval of women. That's it. It's kind of sad. Really. And also, like, by the way, I don't really like talking about a lot of, like, relationships or girls I talk to or don't talk to or anything else. I don't like getting involved in this. It's weird. I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to indicate that women like me. It's just silly.
Yeah, women wouldn't like a charismatic, funny millionaire who's extremely popular. Women aren't into that sort of thing. They're into fat guys with mustaches. Fitzcarraldo. What the fuck? I know what that is. Klaus Kinski. That's Brian Sweeney. Yo, we're keeping it Sweeney over here, okay? We are always keeping it Sweeney. Imagine if I had someone say something in the chat. Interesting, I can chat there. Can this leave the OBS browser? Or whatever you want to call it? The whatchamacallit? I guess I'll have to watch this. Game theory trick. A good response to someone playing more strategically than you is to stop playing strategically. When outmatched, don't try to be smarter. Try to be less predictable. Few truly understand this. I don't know if they're actually talking about games, though. Because I think to these people, your life is their game. Life is just a pretty little game, and you are my pawn. People like that need to just be like thrown into maid programs. And I'm not talking about being euthanized, I'm just talking about like they should have to become servants. You know what I'm saying? Then they maybe will learn some humility. We got it on soft mode? What the fuck? We're gonna put on normal, at least. Soft? I want it on hard mode, you know what I'm saying? Erect mode. I just saved this video. I don't know what he's talking about, but I just saw this beautiful man with this fucking amazing hair. Like,
watching this unfold made me reflect on something. Why are black creators constantly expected to fit into a social or political box? And why does it feel like we're not allowed to simply exist as ourselves creatively? Because this is something that I've personally experienced. Like, ever since I launched Very On Colors Vampire Killers last year in 2025, I've been going to conventions, promoting the comics.
Dude, he's got hair like a vampire. I like this guy. Oh my goodness. Are you telling me this guy made a poster that says Phase 1 and not one of these characters is kind of like inherently dark-skinned? Like, this character is kind of dark-skinned, though. I bet you this guy had so many people come up to him like, let's just listen to what he has to say. How about we just let him say it? And I just shut the hell up for once.
And there's a pattern that I launched Very On Colors Vampire Killers last year in 2025. I've been going to conventions, promoting the comics, spoken with readers, and there's a pattern that I've also noticed while I attended these conventions. A lot of times another black person would approach my booth and they'll compliment my work. They'll even say that the world building is interesting and that the art is cool and the characters seem interesting. And then eventually the conversation begins to shift. The tone, the feel, the atmosphere between the two of us just start to feel a bit uncomfortable or uneasy for a moment. And suddenly I am hit with that question. And that question is, why don't your comics represent us? Or your characters don't look black? Or this feel too inspired by anime?
We gotta check out the full video. This guy's awesome.
Over social media, and it says, as a black comic creator, do you feel pressure to create stories specifically for black people? And honestly, that question stuck with me because the more I thought about it, the more I realized something I've been dealing with ever since I launched Venus Orion Comics last year. Not just as a comic creator, but as a black creator in general. And I think this conversation is much bigger than comics. Because one thing that I've started to notice over the years since I launched Venus Orion Comics is that black creators are expected to create a very specific type of art.
Yeah, like, honestly, I feel like it's that way for... I totally hear what this guy's saying, and he's 100% right. And his hair is amazing. I'm almost waiting for him to just be like... Bone, 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 bone. Tell me what you gonna do when ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you. And I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's the first of the month. So come on, wake up, wake up, wake up, it's the first of the month. Said I'm gonna run over get my stash, I'm gonna run over get my check. No mailman, running the mail, son of been in his pocket, and a minute and 9. Dude, shout out to Busy Bone. I met Bone Thugs and Harmony, by the way. And I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. I actually Wishbone was like the biggest dickhead out of all of them. They were all like super fucking cool. Lazy Bone was really cool. Busy Bone was cool. Lazy Bone didn't want to be there. Crazy Bone was cool, but I wish I could have asked him about the Batmobile, but I was too starstruck. Anyways, carrying on. We'll let this guy... It's all like let me get back to my point. It's not just black creators, but like I feel like every sort of like if you're noticeably a minority or like any sort of like ethnicity, like I don't know. I think like even like indigenous. I think like indigenous artists are expected to like have their art represent indigenous people in a certain way, or like have their art be specifically about indigenous people, otherwise they're not considered an indigenous artist or something. I don't know.
And if you don't, then your blackness gets questioned. So recently there was some controversy surrounding a YouTuber named Comics Explained. Now, if you're on the comic side of YouTube, then you already know who this is. I've been watching him pretty much for years. Well, recently,
he's got millions of
over time,
subscribers.
He started getting pretty much criticized or attacked.
Because Comics Explained is black, because he has a massive platform.
He's black?
People, mostly
Dang.
black people, want him to cover black comic books. And because you can say he doesn't see race, he just sees a comic as a comic, and maybe he says there's some...
I don't see race either.
...want to cover, people call him out for his coverage, to cover, to not to cover, how he covers it, if he gets covered.
And the controversy had gotten so big to the point that he had to step away from YouTube for quite some time. And
what did that say?
Made me reflect on something.
Damn closed captions. He returned.
And watching this unfold made me reflect on something. Why are black creators constantly expected to fit into a social or political box? And why does it feel like we're not allowed to simply exist as ourselves creatively? Because this is something that I personally experienced. Like, ever since I launched Very Young Colors Vampire Killers last year in 2025, I've been going to conventions, promoting the comics, spoken with readers, and
local raw honey
that I've also noticed while I attended these conventions. A lot of times another black person would approach my booth and they'll compliment my work. They'll even say that the world building is interesting.
There's something about this art style that I think is pretty cool. I Kind of like that like holographic sort of effect that he got going. Good work, young man.
And that the art is cool and the characters seem interesting. And then eventually the conversation begins to shift. The tone, the feel, the atmosphere between the two of us just start to feel a bit uncomfortable or uneasy for a moment. And suddenly I am hit with that question. And that question is, why don't your comics represent us? Or your characters don't look black? Or this feels too inspired by anime? And what that really means is that my art doesn't match what they believe black art should look like. And that's the part that frustrates me the most. What exactly does black enough means creatively? I have black characters. Very Young Colors Vampire Killers is actually the first comic book series led by black characters to launch my universe of Phase 1, The Foundation. Because the issue isn't actually
That's
about
fucking cool.
representation. The issue is they want a specific type of representation. Rather, it's aesthetics, a specific skin tone, a specific cultural performance, and if it don't fit their definition, then suddenly it doesn't count. I remember being at ZoloCon.
That guy had fucking dreadlocks, though. I will say this. I did notice from what I saw that, like, his black characters were, like, lighter skin toned. Maybe it's because he doesn't want people to think that he's putting himself in his comics, because he has quite dark skin, so it's like... Jerry, do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe he doesn't want to be like, oh, people might think I'm a douchebag if the main character looks like me. So then he just made him a little bit lighter. I don't know. Maybe that was the process.
For promoting Very Young Colors Vampire Killers up into the actual campaign launch of 2025. And I remember being approached by another black creator who came to my booth, and he told me my comics had potential, or he would say, it's alright. And the thing that really stood out the most to me is that he was saying that the art style and the direction I decided to go is what's going to hold me back as a black creator, because it favors too much of the anime side of things. And he pretty much basically told me to my face that anime and manga is for Asians, and I will never have a seat at their table. Then he turned around and just said to me that I should make my work look more black, because...
Wow. Maybe this guy's been freaking working on doing an anime style for a while. Because he likes it.
Because that's where the money is. And I remember sitting there saying that, why can't this just be my style? This style that I chose is a marriage between both Western and Eastern that I love together, and brought them together to create the style that I have. Why does my creativity suddenly becomes invalid because it doesn't fit somebody else's idea of blackness? And why do I need permission to create stories that I want to tell? After he said that, and after criticizing my work and saying that it's alright, he takes out his phone and shows me his work. And he's the creator of the HBCU universe, which is the historically black college universe that he created of superheroes. And showed it to me.
I do like that art style that he has, because it's like kind of like that 90s gritty. Well, like from what I saw in the background anyways. Oh, this guy made this?
And he showed it to me, and I'm looking like, seriously? Looking at his work, and then looking at mine?
Kid, did you forget? The party was canceled to avoid a potential police raid. Your friend should already know that.
Fucking way. Is he
You think you're doing?
Jasmine, step away from the window right now!
Damn it. Looks like the police are headed in your direction.
No! Wait! Jasmine!
Only then will you become the man I remember. Hezekiah Trippin.
Who does the animation for this shit? Vampire Killer's very on Kellers.
Seriously,
That's crazy.
what's
That
even
looks
more
so good.
frustrating as a black creator is that you're being attacked from.
I will say this about that other guy's thing. It kind of like the animation style kind of reminded me of like on some fucking mainframe animation type ish.
Both sides of the spectrum, because one side there's any hint of black or any hints of diversity, it's automatically labeled as woke. Don't even investigate it, don't even research it. You see a black creator, they see some diversity, and it's automatically woke. And I've said this in a video months ago or even a year ago that I even addressed some of the racism that actually does exist, legitimate racism,
Yep.
where they don't want black people or any forms of diversity represented at all in comics, video games, and even movies or any form of entertainment. And I addressed that in a 40-minute video, so if you want to go check that out, you can check it out as well. So as a black creator, you also have to deal with that. But then there's the other side. And that other side is people always questioning whether your work is black enough. So you end up in this weird space where one side rejects you for simply existing, and then the other side...
I often find myself asking myself, is my work black enough? Because they really set the tone for the culture, you know? Worldwide.
I reject you for not performing your identity correctly, and that's exhausting. And I've experienced this directly with one of my characters. Just a couple months ago on social media, I posted and revealed one of my black female characters who goes by the name Dr. Yolanda Briggs. And she makes her first debut in Barry Allen Keller's Vampire Killers Chapter 2 next year when I launch my Kickstarter campaign in 2027. So be on the lookout for that. And also shout out to the voice actress of Dr. Yolanda Briggs, Itsmyshow. She has done a really good job. Anyway, I did not expect
That's such a cool name.
her to bring so much controversy once I made the post, because the blackness crowd has stepped in and told me that she's not a black woman.
What?
And just picture this for a minute. The creator, I am the creator, and a black creator on top of that, told them that Yolanda Briggs is a black woman, but they're telling me that she's not. And this is from the same crowd on social media.
Why? Why isn't she black?
The author's creation. But now you have a black creator such as myself, and now they're telling me as the creator that that's not a black woman. And no matter how hard I try to plead the case and argue the point that Dr. Yolanda Briggs is a black woman, people still try to override it because Yolanda Briggs doesn't fit their ideal image of what a black character is supposed
That's
to
so
look like.
right. Like, yeah, and it's like these people that are like white knighting and trying to like virtue signal and like be like act like they're like on this like moral superiority than everybody else by saying this guy's characters aren't black enough, and the person who said that was like questionably Mexican at best. And then it's just because she doesn't look like what you think a black woman should look like.
The same people online who would claim completely unrelated anime characters as black based on hairstyle and vibes. And what do I mean by that? You have a certain sector of black Twitter or the black anime community that will claim Piccolo as black. Will claim Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog as black. But for some...
Okay, well, Piccolo is green and Knuckles is red. Knuckles is a hedgehog. Is he not? Oh, he's a Enchinet. Oh man, see, if I was autistic, I would know that. I'm getting a phone call here. Hello?
You're calling to get your feedback on your local police service. This research is funded by Tell City Hall and several police services. Press 1 to receive a text link to our survey. Tell City Hall is a public policy initiative of Advantage, a market research company. You can reach us at info@ tellcityhall.ca or at 888-883-7099. Press 1 to receive a text link to your survey. Press 1 to tell
What the fuck? Weird. I'm not down to do any surveys, you fucking scammers. Get out of here. I'm trying to make a video about fucking black creators. Okay?
For some reason, to be saying people, Yolanda Briggs is not black. We can take it a step farther and take Yurichi from Bleach. For some strange reason, she's considered black, but Dr. Yolanda Briggs isn't black. You see where this conflict is coming from? You see where this is not making any sense? And it gets even more insane when it comes to this. But the fact is that I'm always constantly being told that I'm trying to appease Asian people, white people, because of the artistic style that I chose to go with when it comes to Venus Orion comics. And now my artist, who is Chinese, who does all my artwork, her name is Shabibit. She does a great job with all of the animation and work she has done as my artist ever since 2020 up until now. And we've been working together really well. And here it is, we have these group of people telling me that I should fire my artist and get a black artist in order to properly represent my characters. And this is getting out of control. And yet, these are the same people that demand these Eastern studios to validate their existence. You can't make this up. At some point, I begin to realize that this conversation isn't really about representation anymore. It becomes identity gatekeeping. And over time, I realized something important. Some people who look like you won't like you for being yourself. Their goal isn't to support your creativity. Their goal is to make sure that you stay inside their version of blackness that they approve of. And if you step outside that, you become a problem. And honestly, I'm not interested in creating from that mindset. I created Venus Orion comics because there's stories I want to tell, worlds I want to build, characters I want to explore. And I also reject the idea that black creators should only create stories centered around race or cultural identity. Some creators want to do that, and that's completely fine. And hell, I even supported black creators in their comics that support and only focus on black narrative, black stories, that black identity, and they have some great stories. There's also a manga studio that just focuses on the greatness of black identity, which is Saturday AM Studios. You can go check them out. So it exists, but it's not mandatory. And black creators like myself, such as Eric July in the Ripperverse, and Corey Kenshin in his manga called The Monsters We Make, and just recently, Jada Concept just released his own manga. Creators like us, we don't adhere to those rules or those social obligations that was thrusted upon us as black creators. We don't adhere to that. We create stories that we want to create, and that should be completely fine. Growing up, I love Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, Superman, and most definitely Dragon Ball Z. None of those characters look like me, and yet I had a connection with them. Because great characters connect through pain, ambition, motivation, hope, and ambition, not just race. Every black kid I knew in the hood loved Dragon Ball Z. Everyone wanted to be Goku and Vegeta, and their race had nothing to do with it. We knew we were those characters.
Hell yeah.
Don't lie. Some of you even pretended in your room trying to transform into a Super Saiyan.
Yes.
Nobody cared about their race. We connected with their journey. And that's how I approach storytelling with Venus Orion.
This guy's awesome.
Whether black, white, Latino, or Asian, you can pick up a chapter of VK and relate to Hezekiah, Isaiah, Caleb, and even Varian himself. You should be able to connect with Darnell Brooks, the Dust Defender, despite him being black. Even with my mixed race characters, such as Princess Adex and Faith Tanaka. Hell, I can't wait to tell Lazarus' story once we explore the cosmic corner of my universe. Because these characters deal with struggle and show motivations that anyone can relate to. Because these characters are not only just fictional, but they also have hope. They represent that brokenness that people have trying to survive in a chaotic world. And at the end of the day, I don't believe that black creators should be forced into a creative box. We should be allowed to experiment, create freely, take inspiration from other cultures, and most importantly, tell the stories that we want to tell. Not stories designed to satisfy a social checklist. Because the moment the creators lose the freedom to create authentically, art starts becoming performance rather than passion. And honestly,
Yeah, quit performing, bitches.
Than to succeed pretending to be someone that I'm not. So let me ask you, do you feel that creators today are pressured to fit into identity expectations? And should the artists feel
100%.
obligated to represent their race or culture in a specific way? Let me know in the comment sections below. And thanks for watching this video. This is Brian Howard Blackton Jr. signing off.
His name is Blackton. I'll subscribe. What a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. I saw this and it kind of pissed me off. That one friend that has no social life, so they swore to solely focus in on their creative work, but they're too unmotivated and untalented to do anything there, so it's just sort of a bad situation all around. And then, okay, I'm glad this one resonated with a lot of other creatives, lol. Actually, I don't think it's creative people who are liking this. These are the fucking bitch-ass haters who have the creative friend and they're like, oh yeah, that reminds me of so-and-so who fucking sucks. You know, when it comes to being creative or like creative people, I think a vast majority of people like to think they're creative or wish they were creative or just straight up think they're creative. I think not very many people actually are creative through and through. Bridget, what are you gawking about? Smokey, quit egging him on. You guys are egging each other on. I'll get you some water. I'll get you some water. I think a lot of people are just scared of life, and they need to be able to fit things into their little boxes so that they can understand and be in control. The thing is, you're never in control, and there's never truly understanding. But what I think about creative people, or creativity in general, I think people who are not creative at all, or who don't spend time practicing like artwork or storytelling or, you know, any sort of creative endeavor, I think those people sometimes are capable of creating something extremely creative or unique or awesome. It happens. Like people who invent things, maybe sometimes they're not inherently creative, and then they'll invent something that's super inventive and creative, and they make $1 million. And then you make $1 million, but it's just like, I think a lot of people who are creative, they also don't like cherish the same things that most others do. So like this person's perspective is like, oh, they don't have a social life because they don't want to hang out with us because they are too busy focusing on their creativity. But we never see them release or create anything. I kind of fucking relate to that. But like, Maybe they don't want a social life because they don't want to hang out with a bunch of like materialistic FOMO homos that go on hikes so that they can check off a box. They should take a hike. You know what I'm saying? That's not even the gifted burnout friend anymore. That's just someone slowly rotting in ultra high definition. Like me. Just kidding. No, this camera's like 480p at best. Like they built their entire identity around one day I'll create something amazing, and now the pressure of that idea alone stops them from starting anything. No, I think a lot of people that they're describing, the creative types that don't want to release things because they've probably had bad reception from their so-called friends, like these people who are not actually friends. They're just rotten to the core. Like, don't get me wrong, if someone's creating shit art, you should be straight up with them and be like, yeah, I think this kind of sucks. You shouldn't just like be a yes man and gas them up. But like I said, like, I've been working on making video games and I've been like writing stuff for years. I haven't made $1 million, but I enjoy the process. When I think of like, would I rather like grind out some job and act like a fake phony ass piece of shit person and totally dim my light so that I could like, so I'm not hurting other people's feelings at a job, so that I could make money to go on a vacation that I need to take so that I can relax from the job that I hate. And it's just like, or I could manifest some big wins like I do, and I get by, and I live in this house that I own, that's mine, and I got a studio, and I got a nice PC, and I got a new webcam coming, and I got lavalier mics, and I got a fucking Steam controller. I got one of these. One of these sweet things. How much is this? Didn't the price just go up like $5 billion? Hey, good thing I already got one. Shout out to all those retards. I'm sorry. I don't like to use that word. That's not a good word. Don't use that word. Shout out to all the dumbasses who sold their Steam Deck because they thought it sucked. I have a PC. What do I need a Steam Deck for? Because it's great tech. Been finding out the solution to this is living a balanced life between work, friends, exercise, and hobbies. Society doesn't emphasize it enough, but social connections are a really big part of our mental well-being. Social isolation will slowly kill you, unfortunately. Tried it. I do agree. If you like completely isolate yourself for a really long time, it could start to make you hate people, which is not good. You need a good group of friends. You need like a small, close group of friends who will play Arc Raiders with you and who want to see you succeed and who are like, dude, why aren't you streaming, dude? You're a fucking idiot because you're not streaming. And guess what? I'm gonna do it because I don't want to let them down. The real ones, not these bitch ass fake friends. Well, I'm just curious. What's this person's deal? Poodle type thing. Breaks freak and enjoyer of the supply chain sublime. Likes the 2000s, but for different, more nuanced reasons than yours. She's 18, and it's a she? That's horrendous. That sucks ass. Look at my great art, guys. I'm an artist too. I'm so edgy on the internet. I'm more nuanced than you. Sorry. You're tacky, and I'm bisexual. I'm just kidding. Shout out to all the bisexuals out there. That's not even a real thing, by the way. I'm sorry if you think you're that, because it's not even a thing. You're just a sex pest. Give me something for the cringe and let me die. Give me something for the cringe and let me die. So I saw this, I didn't really actually see it. Short video on how I do my daily 200 push-ups. Oh! I don't even know how many that was. I don't know how many that was.
Yo, I'm about to do a couple sets here.
Oh, I'm so weak. So weak. This guy's kind of jacked though. But this guy said, I'm scared of the off chance it gives you that brokey ripped look. What does that even fucking mean, dude? Can I see like what you look like? Oh no, you're a coward. That's why. You just post pictures of Homelander and shit. You have an AI. Fat N-words say/do anything but work out. So true. What is she saying? Male standards are not too high. I'd be perfectly content to date a brunette who looks like this. I'm not holding out for a thin, pretty blonde. But even an average girl like her is a reach now for an average guy. She's not average, I'm sorry, boys. Did you see her boobs? Like, this girl thinks she's like a 9 out of 10. If we're gonna get into that, like, you saying she's average, you're probably a freaking high IQ. I have a high IQ. Yet you're saying, like, girl with, like, bright green eyes, small nose, and a huge tits, she's average? Brother, you have some serious eye-opening, awakening moments ahead of you, Mr. High IQ. Once you realize what a real average person looks like. This is what an average person looks like. This person is not average. She's got good teeth. She got all her teeth. She's dressed nice. She's got a brown bag. If a girl's got a brown bag and she's holding a coffee, she thinks she's a 9 minimum. Minimum. Indian MMA fighter Rishikesh Kalath killed in a bear attack. Northern Saskatchewan. Jeez. Arjun. A civilian on site shot and killed the bear. Like, how did it happen? Should have just did he try to fight the bear? That sucks. Only the 4th fatal bear incident in Saskatchewan's recorded history. Crazy! Crazy. I'm gonna work on some stuff for a bit, and then maybe I'll play some crab later. But I'll see you later.